Yeah. So yeah, Neil, welcome to Facing the Crowd podcast. I'm known as Hobo. You've obviously been speaking to me as Sam, and this is Perks, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Where are you
No,
guys located?
we
Yeah, we're
are. Yeah, we're just outside London, so
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
about 40 minutes from
yeah,
London.
a coastal town.
Yeah, nice little
Hey,
coastal town.
before we get much further, you want me to put on headphones? Is it
No,
this
no, it's
audio?
fine, mate. No, it sounds
Okay,
absolutely fine. Yeah,
good.
We can hear you.
yeah.
We've got
Yeah,
So
I have
you're off tour at the moment.
yep, yep.
Was it? Was
Go out in about we go at the end of July. We'll go back out for a short run, just about 10 shows or so.
Yeah, yeah. The show's going down well. I mean, of course,
Yeah, we
I know they are.
yeah, it's been good. Well, we it's a little different. A lot of um we did a lot of casinos on this run, which
Oh wow.
it was interesting. Those can kind of be very clinical places. They're
Uh-huh.
not as, salt of the earth. But we're going to release a record next year.
Uh-huh.
So we're trying to hit all these places that we haven't played, at least in North America. So when the album comes out, we'll have, a fresh batch of places to choose from.
Amazing. Amazing.
so
I'm surprised there's any places left.
Oh yeah, me too.
the
Um,
casinos. What's that like? Reno, Vegas.
no, not
That's
even. The casino, laws in the United States changed drastically, and state to state about 20 years ago, and you can find them pretty much anywhere. A lot of Native American, property hosts those places,
right.
and you wouldn't know it was there unless you were told. It's good people watching. I mean, gambling really isn't my thing, but it's you know
There's always a vibe, isn't there? There's a good vibe in the casino. Like the ups and
there is. I
downs. You
mean,
get you can walk past someone having a great time and then walk past someone who's having a shit show, can't you? It's just like
oh yeah,
the
a
up and
lot of
down vibe of it.
mood swings, a buffet of them.
Yeah.
Completely. But I'm sure when you're playing, everything's cracking. You guys obviously been known for a long time for your live show. So I've been lucky. We've both been lucky enough to see you on plenty of occasions. So
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
thanks for
well.
coming to the shows.
Hey, no, I mean I've already got my ticket for December the 20th as well. So I believe it's the Roundhouse in
Yeah, it is the
Camden.
Roundhouse.
So
That's a great spot.
it's a lovely venue, isn't it? It's a really cool venue. Been lucky to see a lot of bands there, but I haven't. I know you've played there before, but I
Yeah,
didn't see you
just
there.
twice I think we've played there.
Amazing. Very much looking forward to that show.
Well, while
Um,
we're while
It'll,
we're on that, Neil, I've been waiting to ask you if you have any memories of the. It was the year 2000 Barfly at the Falcon Pub in Camden show. I mean, this is mega rewinding, but it was like
yeah,
a really small venue. I think he was just starting out on the Jam Room album, but we was massively into Clutch, the album. And
um,
yes, managed to see you in that little Barfly venue in Camden. And I
was it
think it
called
was
the Barfly at that time?
Yeah, it's the Barfly. It used to be something. I think it might have changed from the Monarch or to the Monarch, but it was actually called the Barfly in the Falcon pub in Camden.
well,
Yeah, fucking mental.
Yeah,
But it
I,
was such
I,
a good show.
the short answer is no. I don't remember any.
I mean, I didn't think you would. I mean, we're going back 25 years, but like,
you probably played a few shows since then.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of kind of early London shows that kind of have morphed into all the same show in my memory bank. They were typically, very small, sold out, packed, usually under the main floor in a basement. Um, and always loved it. It just was. I think it was something I could have coped with very easily in my 20s. I don't know if I could do that now. Just the sheer raging riot of those kind
it
of
it was it was it was
environments.
it was like a sweaty, energetic like, and then you was just breaking out into different jams, just like impromptu jamming on the stage and like in between songs and just you never knew what song was coming next, kind of thing. But it was a great set. It was wicked. No,
Well, thank you.
we'll move.
I'm
We'll
glad
move
you
on from
remember
my
it.
early cut show.
I didn't think he'd remember it. It was a long time ago.
The Underground, was that a spot in London?
Oh, the Underworld.
Yeah, the Underworld's
Underworld,
right
yeah.
near it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Camden as well. Yeah, that's a nice
Okay.
bar.
Camden
I think
Underworld.
that's the
Yeah.
spot I'm thinking about.
Right.
Um,
That's got like a sort of like sort of semicircle stage, one corner of the room.
precisely. Yeah.
Yeah. We see a lot of bands there. But that's a pretty cool venue.
So what we normally do is we kind of rewind and ask you, rewinding again, like what was your first gig you ever went to where you paid to buy a ticket to go and see a band, and who was it, and how was it, and what happened on the day?
Yeah.
That's going back though. I mean,
Yeah, as far as like I couldn't there was the nightclub in DC is the 930 Club, which a lot of people have heard, the name, and that was the local club for us. And I went with a girlfriend to see a band she liked. I think that was the very first time I went to the 930 Club and bought tickets, and it was a band at the time called Camper Van Beethoven. And then they later changed their name. They were from Richmond, Virginia. They changed their name to Cake.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, I
they
remember
had
them.
some big hits later on. And I think I think Camper Van Beethoven did that song "Take the Skinheads Bowling."
Mm.
The That's one of the, if that's not the first, it was one of them. Once so in 1989, I was 17 years old. There were so many shows happen all at once. They kind of or blur. I know there was a lot of Fugazi shows, and a lot of just local, gigs. I couldn't tell you what the bands were at this point. Playing
Mhm.
community centers or
yeah.
soup kitchens, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, you were young when you guys started, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was in bands in high school with JP and Dan. I think in 1988, as far back as then.
Mm.
And then shortly after high school, I left, went to college, and those guys kept playing. John Paul and Tim were always the guys in high school, like, I'm going to be in a rock band.
Right.
They just knew, and they were determined. I was kind of going along with the for the ride for, well, to this day, I guess.
Still going along with the ride now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've come to terms with it. I've come to accept it, that this is what I'm going to do with my life.
Fair play. Well, you make a lot of rock fans very happy, so
Well,
it's good.
that's in hindsight, it's like when I think in my 20s, or even maybe even 30s, it was sort of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do before I do something that I can't stand.
Yeah.
This is this is a little anomalous bit of fun, and don't get too attached to it because it's going to go away. But then I guess right early 2000s, when I was like, well, you know what? I'm reaching a point where there's a fork in the road. Like, the older you get, the harder it gets to change careers, and kind of got a renewed sense of purpose back then. And once I kind of planted my flag in that mentally, like, this is what I'm going to do, then it became a lot more fun. I took it a lot more seriously, and a lot more gratitude, like being able to see the world, meet people, go to dive bars in Camden over and over again. There's
Yes.
there's a lot of people that don't even get, as much as they might want to, they don't even get to leave their hometown
Yeah.
for their life. And this is it's been an amazing run so far.
Yeah. What's like your favorite countries to play?
There's something to be said about, we've toured Western Europe quite a bit. It's all great, because one of the things I'm intensely jealous about in the UK and Europe is it's, just for historical reasons, it's pedestrian friendly. Like, once you're in in the town, you can pretty much walk to wherever you want to see that's cool, eat, sightsee, culture, the plaza, that does not exist in the United States,
No,
except
no.
for some places like New York, because of just it doesn't have the same history. So I love walking around and checking out, what's around the club.
Mhm.
I love Barcelona is amazing. Athens is amazing. I love London is amazing too. It's it's just so thick with the strata of history there. It's
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
really, really enjoy that kind of tourism aspect of my gig.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I suppose you have a lot of time during the day when there's when you've driven from one place to the next or whatever. It's nice to
Yeah.
do a
Yeah,
bit of sightseeing.
I spent yesterday in
yeah,
London. Me and my son, we just took our bikes on the train into London and just rode around the Olympic Park all day
amazing.
and just got pizza, had a Coke, tried to get out of this. It was so bloody hot. We tried to get in the shade, you know, and yeah, we just rode around it, riding around the West Ham Stadium and all that, and just got back on the train and went out.
Nice.
You
That's
can
great.
do that. That is the beauty of it. Yeah, like you're saying. In America, I mean, I've been in America quite a few times. You've got to get in that car, haven't you, to get anywhere?
For everything, everything.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, if you live out in the country, like in rural areas, sure, you're going to drive, but even the biggest metropolises in the United States, sometimes you look, there's not even a sidewalk.
Hmm.
It's one of I'm becoming very old man pet peevish, like
there's nowhere
there's
to
still a
walk.
sidewalk, damn it,
Yeah.
Definitely. So what about going back to the shows and the concert side of things? What was the first show you ever performed? What was that like? Were you nervous?
Yes, what I was nervous. I'm nervous to this day.
Really? Right.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
and I don't think I used to think that was a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think being nervous maybe is an indication of caring.
Uh-huh.
And it's better to maybe, and the bonus is a lot of times you get adrenaline from the
Hmm.
nerves, and as long as you can channel it and manage it and understand it for what it is, I think it's a blessing and not a curse. Very very first two shows, well, the first time on stage was when I was with John Paul and Dan and our friend um, Brian and myself. We're trying out for the school talent show, and we were summarily rejected during the tryout period. So we didn't actually do the show. We did the tryout on stage, and I was a wreck. I just couldn't stand trying to execute something in front of people who are clearly just there to judge you. Um, so then well, probably a few months later, we played the senior graduating picnic at our high school outside. That was the first, and I was just playing guitar. I wasn't singing.
Right.
Actually, no, I take that back. I was singing by that time. I was singing. And then very first Clutch shows was at a place called Fort Reno here in Washington, D.C. in August of 1991. Very similar kind of day, just brutally hot. Thankfully, we played to almost no one. That, soothed my nerves. And yeah, those are the first three.
Wow. Wow. That's going back. Amazing though. Amazing.
And
So
one
a
of
bit of
my
rejection.
regrets is not writing it down, like just like a diary entry, like, January 12th, playing such and such place, great show, shit show,
Yeah.
ate
Yeah.
this for dinner. I wish I had done that, because at the moment you think, oh, I'm never going to forget this.
No, no.
And then time does its thing.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It's can be evil, the old time thing, can't it? But
Yeah.
yeah. Have you got any idea how many shows you've played as Clutch?
Well, I mean, if we've been a band for 30 years, So I'm just gonna go ballpark 3,000.
Wow.
You know, I mean, there was a lot more intensity of shows in a row and being out on the road, you know, from in the early 90s into the mid 2000s. And then you can only do that for so long before you lose your mind or
Of course.
your health.
Mhm.
And then families, you know, kids enter the picture, and you got to start moderating and in a lot of different ways. And so it's slowed down if you compare the two, but if the mean average, I would say it's easy to say we played 100 shows a year.
Mhm.
It's a hell of a lot, isn't
Easily.
it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's what, 3 months, yeah, plus, you know, say 4 months, between 3 and 4 months out of the year, easily. So you might
Wow.
even be closer to 4,000 shows at this point. I don't know.
It must be hard balancing that with your home life, though. I mean, what is like a normal day at home for Neil Fallon? How does that work out?
Well, let's see. It's pretty nondescript, to be honest. You know, there's the hypothetical exercise routine. May or may not happen. Who knows? Um, you drop the kid off at school, and I try to, you know, write something every day or work on music in some capacity, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Um, and if it's not that, do something else creatively, because I have that great luxury that I can pursue those things.
Hmm.
Uh, and just do the, you know, the pretty run of the mill suburban dad stuff, you know, fixing stuff around the house.
Yeah.
Uh, or
Yeah.
not, or like today, which I have done absolutely nothing.
Well, that's our fault.
Which is okay.
So you kind of wander into that room and get a coffee and just think of ideas. You try to do that every day, get some ideas down.
Something. Even if, I mean, it's like I've come to terms with the fact in order to arrive at some, you know, at something worthwhile or something that you like, you have to slog through a lot of garbage, like real bad stuff. Um, and that's just part of it. You could call it work, and I guess it is, but I pull my hair out at times thinking I can't come up with anything. And then when an idea comes, it's the most satisfying thing in the world. And all that frustration is forgotten and will never be thought of again.
Mhm.
So
And
yeah,
what about dealing with on a day-to-day basis, like the band and where you're going to play next and artwork and tours and just logistics? Did you have a part of that you've got to do as well on a daily basis, or is that just come in waves, little segments?
um, there is a day-to-day aspect of that. Um, we, I think, are in a bit of a unique position, one that we own our record label and we put out our own records.
Yeah.
Um, and currently we're also self-managed. Our manager, Jack, who was basically a shadow member of this band, he was a mentor. He passed away in 2019. And at that, you know, at this point, it's sort of like, since we've had that DIY ethic, as you know, that gets picked around as a term quite a bit, but since we've had it so long, it's not that much of a leap to just kind of do everything ourselves. John Paul takes on a lot of the work. He's a very business minded person. He's got a head for it. Artwork is usually comes into my lap, or, you know, we divvy up stuff like uh, making decisions about this or that, usually through an email, or if it's, we all live close enough that we could sit down
Right.
together.
Okay.
I mean, just for example, like we're reissuing the Blast Tyrant bonus CD from years ago. We're going to put it out digitally. So just yesterday, I was just proofreading the label copy. Proofreading sucks. I'm awful at it, but it, you know, has to be done. Um, so, you know, it's stuff like that. And I don't understand why bands uh, to this day kind of look for labels as like these patrons, like do everything for me. and I'll just be the artiste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It can't. Those things are very, very, very few and far between. If you really want to make it, you got to go roll up your sleeves.
Mm-hmm. Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. And
I mean,
you guys you've always been so hands-on, haven't you? And I think that's a great way to be.
I think looking back on it in hindsight, actually now I think I know so. I remember we wrestled a lot between us before we signed our very first deal. First it was with Earache Records, and then into the major labels that were here, or some of them don't even exist anymore. Since we had kind of grown up in the shadow of DC Punk and Discord, and at the time they seemed like so much older than us, but that whole generation is maybe not even 10 years older than us. But we thought, oh man, if we sign a label, is that quote unquote selling out? And then the manager was different, not Jack, a different one at the time. It's like, opportunity only knocks once. If you say no to this, they'll never ask again. So you better do it. And we did. And then the best part about that was in the 90s, they gave us tour support so we could tour with everybody.
Yeah.
Constant in the 90s. Oh, and then when the bottom of that fell out for everybody in the early 2000s, we basically started again.
Mm-hmm.
We'd signed with DRT. They went under. There was a court battle. The money that they owed us, they couldn't pay us. So in lieu of that, they gave us the albums we had released through that record label. And that was the beginning of ours.
Yeah.
And a whole another chapter. And it was the best. Not getting the money they owed us was the best thing that ever happened to us in a lot of ways, because
so
it
you
forced
got the
us.
rights. You got the rights that they owned.
Music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an element of kind of luck there as well as
There is. I think about that a lot. I think sometimes luck is you can kind of tilt the scales the more you work. You'll find more luck if you keep plugging away.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just get a bad hand. I mean, that's happened to us.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you could do other than just throw your hands up and say, okay, let's try again.
They do say if you say yes to everything, you will always come out on top. And never say no. Never say no to any idea or to anyone. Just say yes.
That was a Jim Carrey film, wasn't it?
Oh yes, man. Yeah, I didn't get it from that.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of our philosophy about touring with bands. We were like, we will play with anybody.
Yeah. You must have some great stories.
And you
played with so many bands, haven't you? I mean, what are some of the like more entertaining bands you would say that you played with, that you've like enjoyed playing with the most?
One tour I've actually been thinking about a lot is we were opening for Monster Magnet on their Super Judge tour.
Yeah.
Which is just a phenomenal record. And that's when that band was just firing on all cylinders. And
yeah,
we quit a tour. It's the only time we've ever done it. We were on tour opening for Voivod, and there was another band on the bill called Damn the Machine. And they I forget, it was one of the guys from a bigger band, like Megadeth. I think he was in Megadeth, and he had the side project, and they just kind of made our lives hell. And there was a lot of night. We love Voivod, and it was really no beef against them, but we were outdrawing both bands in many times, playing on the floor because there wasn't enough room on stage, and that's okay. But we bailed on that tour to do the Monster Magnet tour, and that was the first time I seen a band kind of really like fully embracing rock stardom. The whole mystique and mythos of it, maybe one of the problems is sometimes you got to be able to turn that on and off. I can see bands that can turn it on stage, like it's rock and roll, and then it's over with, and that's the way to do it, because
Yeah.
everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, and you can't live that lifestyle and not have it come bite you in the butt eventually. But yeah, that was a phenomenal tour. Other ones that come to mind, we did 4 months. Shortly thereafter, we did 4 months with Marilyn Manson
Hmm.
when
Wow.
he was blowing up in the United States. We started off kind of mid-sized clubs. This tour just kept getting dates added and added and added. We watched that band kind of just explode. And at the time, I had a real bad attitude about that tour. I was being disagreeable. I'll admit it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be there. I was being a bit of a brat, I guess. But it was one of the best tours we ever did, because we
What, for
came back.
exposure or for
Yeah,
fun?
yeah.
Right, exposure.
It's one of the things I learned is, like, if you're in a band, you're on stage, you can't judge what's going on by the people on the barricade,
Hmm.
because those people were there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to see the headlining band.
Yeah.
That's all they're interested in. So it was at that point that I realized it's the people in the back that you can't see that are actually listening to your band that did come back next time we rolled through town, and there was hundreds of them, and it was pretty great.
Wow.
Well, what was it like being was it Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids then, wasn't it? With Twiggy and all that? What was it like being
Yeah, yeah.
with those guys on a daily basis? What was it, 4 months with them?
Is it
It was
absolute carnage, like he like he writes in his book, like
yeah,
absolute
it
complete
was.
mayhem and carnage?
I definitely steered clear of that camp. Just
Could you steer clear of it then? Was it easy to steer clear of it, or was it just there?
yeah, yeah. The thing is, I think in his biography he says that our sets were like listening to concrete drying, which is kind of funny. So I guess liked our first record, Transnational, and asked us, and it's a pretty dark record. I can see what he thought he was going to get, but what he ended up with was we were just finished our self-titled record, and it was Space Grass and Big News One and that Animal Farm, and a lot more humor involved. And there's nothing humorous about that camp. And so I think he was really disappointed in what he thought he was going to get. But having said that, we kept getting offered these extensions on these, dates.
So he was still enjoying you guys.
Who knows?
I don't think he might have known then what he was doing.
There might have been some substances,
One of his band members drained his spinal fluid so he could stay constantly high or something. I just remember.
There's so many stories about that.
I remember that story.
As one does.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, I remember a thing going around at school, and people were saying that Marilyn Manson had 3 ribs removed so he could suck himself off. And it was just like this thing, but everybody knew it, and it was like a fact, but except of course it wasn't.
Like the fact I said, everyone knew it was true. Probably wasn't.
Have you ever heard any good rumors about you? Any good?
Well, there's actually, I don't know if rumor is the right word. I will say people will read whatever they want to into lyrics. There's confirmation bias, whether it be religious stuff or political stuff, and people bring their biases to the table, or they just force it right down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I've been thinking about off and on is the phenomena that is new to our age, is sort of the digital doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
Someone posing to be you, whether it's not even a deep fake or anything like that, just saying, "Oh, I'm Neil Fallon." And not too long ago, there was a woman claiming that she was not going to go to our show because I owed her like $60 for merchandise that I had never sent her. we had been on Facebook Messenger, and she sent me the money. I never sent her the shirt, F Neil Fallon, he's a thief, blah, blah, blah. And everyone that read this thing is like, oh, you got took. But it dawned upon me reading this woman's comments through my wife's Facebook, because I don't even have the thing. That I myself could actually walk up to this person and say, that wasn't me. And they still wouldn't believe it, because in so many people's brains, there's this kind of parallel universe that has more meaning in their decision making and world building than the actual world they're in. So I've seen the iterations of that, of people posing as me.
Yeah.
But rumors, no, I think we're pretty boring. I hope. I really hope.
Any weird stuff that fans have said that's not true, but you wish was true? That's a weird one.
No, there's always fans that swear up and down that they saw us on tour with some band we've never toured with.
Right. Okay.
I think that's just maybe conflating two memories.
Like the Marilyn Manson tour.
Yeah,
that happened. That happened.
But did it? I mean,
yeah.
Neil could be a deep fake right now.
Are you Neil?
It's amazing how impact the cell phone had, just in documenting stuff. Like I have pictures from tours that were all done on like disposable Kodak cameras. They're all sitting in a box in my basement over here, and maybe I'll go through them once before I die. Whereas nowadays, these things, it's like you can watch it unfold real time, whatever it is. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
you can get it from.
So thankful they didn't exist.
Get a gig from any angle, can't you?
Yeah.
Like,
last weekend, I paid for that for the Black Sabbath live stream because I really wanted to watch it, and I think it cost me about £33. Obviously, it's
yeah, well, that's expensive.
the whole thing was just on YouTube constantly anyway. I was like, why did I pay for that? I just don't understand.
Yeah, I watched most of it the next day on Facebook.
Yeah. Did you catch any of that, Neil?
No.
No.
Here's a wild, I've been meaning to, I just haven't. I've never saw Black Sabbath.
Right.
I've seen Ozzy Osbourne solo, and I've seen Heaven and Hell.
Yeah.
But I never saw the original lineup. My 15-year-old son has. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And my wife
mad.
has.
Yeah.
So, it's almost one of those things like a band that was so big, it's almost, I probably have them on a pedestal they could never live up to. They would never be a perfect set list or what have you. But I saw Heaven and Hell and I saw Ozzy, and it was both great. So I can only imagine how awesome original would be.
What Ozzy tour was it? Was that Wild or?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was. It wasn't a tour. It was a festival we had played. It was in Norway, I believe. But I did get to see Motorhead like 60 times.
Wow.
Bloody hell.
He's a massive Motorhead fan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
amazing.
as massive as the Motorhead bangers and all that, but I've seen them. I've only seen them like 3 times, but I love Motorhead.
Yeah, there was one that's probably one of the only bands who I went to go see at least for some period of time every night when we were on tour with them. And it was, usually the same set. So I can gauge where they were in their set and, watch them night after night. And it never ceased to bore me.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys obviously
never ceased that I said that wrong. It never managed to bore me.
No.
No, you can't get bored by Motorhead.
Oh, well, I mean, it's hard to get bored when your teeth are rattling inside your skull as well.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, right.
it's unbearably loud. Yeah,
yeah,
Like-
too much.
but it was all right. The download, because obviously we were in the field, so it was. My ears are going to be okay,
Yeah.
and they're still brilliant.
Yeah, those I watched
when you
the,
see, when
the
we
ver-
saw him in Southend, it was just like,
That was too much.
the
Yeah.
first tour we did with them in the UK. I think they went through 3 monitor engineers in 2 weeks because they were, they're just like louder, 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 and the guy's like, everything's pegged, everything is
nothing.
up. There's nowhere else to go. So
There's
fired.
smoke coming out the monitors.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Fired them, yeah, literally fired them for not making it loud enough.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
That
I
does
don't know.
sound
Maybe
like
there's
them.
there's probably more to it than that, but it was it was pretty entertaining to watch these guys like lose their minds, like trying to make something happen that just couldn't.
So have you guys always used the same crew out of interest?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, Oscar, our tour manager, is like our collective brain. He makes he works on stuff months in advance. And Al, our stage manager, as well. Dave is probably he's probably been close to us for 10 years. Travis, our front of house guy's been with us for maybe about 3-4 years. And there's also, Jeff on lights. And who else do we have? Yeah, that's it. They do a lot of work. A lot of work. So we don't have to. And you can tell sometimes bands who just have hired guns on tour with them, and it creates a weird dynamic. And then you can tell other bands who have like the same crew for decades, and it's this hive mind that everyone knows what to do, what not to do to make the show happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of my big takeaways from Motorhead. It was like, Lemmy was the captain of the ship, and everything else was a reflection of that. It was sort of like, do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't mess up the show, because that was sacred ground. We did, a short run with Iron Maiden. And that was sort of the same vibe. It was like that crew was like, you could tell these guys,
well-oiled machine kind of thing.
yeah. And it wasn't arrogance. It was just sort of like this confidence of just knowing
Like
they weren't there to impress
professionalism.
anybody. They didn't give our manager, Jack, asked Maiden's lighting director about the lights. Like, how much of the lights can we use? Because usually opening acts are only allowed to use a certain amount of the lighting rig, or if any.
Yeah.
And the guy just kind of looked at him and was like, you could use the whole thing. It's not going to make any difference. That was his, approach to it. And he was totally right. It didn't matter. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. What was it like?
Yeah, a
playing
crew
for
like that.
Maiden? Wow.
Where did you play with Maiden then? Where was that?
That was in the States. That I was actually with Monster Magnet as well. And I'm trying to recall the year, probably around 2000, early 2000s.
That's a stacked bill.
It was the first tour that Bruce Dickinson had fronted the band in quite some time in the United States.
Yeah.
So the people that were showing up wanted nothing to do with the opening acts. It was a long
Bruce.
7 shows.
Wow. I mean, what I've always found incredible about Maiden is the merchandise more than anything, right? Like I was in London a couple of weeks ago, just on a work do, but I didn't realise at the time, but Iron Maiden were playing at the West Ham ground.
Yeah,
But
the Olympic Stadium.
I swear to God, there was 15 billion people. Every one of them was wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt. Everywhere you looked, it was just a sea. I mean, how much money has that band made out of merchandise? It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, and I hope
crazy.
they own their merchandise.
Yeah.
They must. Come on, it's Maiden,
they must.
isn't it? They've
yeah,
had
I
the
remember
concept. They've had the
actually
concept of that, haven't they? They've had the concept of the Eddie and the whole thing from day one. They invented it. They must have it.
you know, and now that you mention it, I actually remember reading an old magazine when I was in high school. Maybe it was like the Power Slave uh, time period. It was talking about Maidens being the richest band in heavy metal because they owned these things. So that was back then.
Uh-huh.
And you know, they definitely branded it. The we're we're trying to put together a model car, like a Dodge Swinger, like a
Uh-huh.
clutch thing to
Oh,
sell.
right.
You know, it's something we've been talking about for a laugh, and whether or not it happens, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But our merchandise company did some research and it's like, oh, we've only found one other band who's done anything remotely like this. And I was like, let me guess. It's either Kiss or Maiden. He's like, oh, it's Maiden, and it's a Spitfire plane with Eddie as the pilot. I was like, oh, of course. And now I want one.
Did you get one?
No, because I don't. I think they go for a small fortune on eBay these days.
Right. No, that's a shame. That's a shame. I bet it's quite cool though.
And what about just going back to Motorhead? So you played? Did you say you played like 50 odd shows with Motorhead?
We did 2 tours, but one was about 6 weeks, one was 4 weeks. So I'm gonna say probably about 50 shows thereabouts. The UK was great because, well, to tour with Motorhead in the UK was, you know, something special.
That is special, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different package all the way around. And we're used to in the United States, particularly out west, like in between cities, it's an overnight drive. I mean, you're talking 8, 9, 10 hours at times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, and this wasn't, they only toured the south of England. They didn't go, I don't think they went any farther north than the mids, but we would get into the bus to drive to the next venue, and then the bus would be pulling up to the next venue by the time you were on their second beer. It was, and it would be sold out. It blew our minds. It was like the venues were 80 miles apart, or they're even less at times. And it would be a completely different crew of people. It wasn't like the same people in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to speak to Lemmy a lot, or what was the vibe there with him?
A little bit. I kind of, you know, I'm always err on the side of giving people room instead of like, hey, what are you doing? You know,
Like us now. A couple of fanboys.
We only had 2 interactions, one of which I've mentioned before in other interviews, is I ended up in an elevator at a venue. I don't remember which one. Early on our first tour together, and he was there with his assistant Dan. And Dan said, "Hey, this is Neil, the singer from Clutch." And he said, "What? He said, "This is the singer from Clutch." He goes, "Oh, you're very consistent." Okay. Thanks.
That's a compliment, right?
Yeah, it was
That's
just
a
kind of like
compliment from him, right?
I didn't ask for any elaboration. And the other time was we did our second tour, and he said we were better on the second tour than we were on the first. You know, you can't fault a man.
Consistently better.
Yeah, sure, I'll go with that.
Oh God, what a loss it was, wasn't it, when he went? Bless him.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, it's wild. The first time I ever had any like I was introduced to Motorhead on the Young Ones.
Uh-huh.
That was my introduction to them. You know,
I think everyone was, if they're honest. That's the first time I saw them.
Yeah, and then kind of every night I was like, "Holy shit, we're on tour with Motorhead. This is amazing."
Yeah, and I bet they were consistent every night, weren't they? I mean, they don't mess the show up, did they? ever, I think.
No, I mean, and the thing is that their music's so fast. If a mistake goes by, it happens so quickly you don't even notice.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
There's a mistake and they just turn it up a bit louder.
I know. I nearly
Mistake.
made a joke then using the phrase "warts and all," and then I changed my mind. I was so close to saying it. Oh, bless him, bless him. But obviously, like you guys doing all your gigs and all that, playing all over the place. Do you ever say in like the support bands? Do you hand pick them?
um,
Is there any that have
yes and no.
you've particularly loved and taken out on tour?
A lot of times we'll get like a list, and you know, we don't amongst ourselves bicker about who to go on tour with. A lot of times our booking agent will suggest a band that we've
Uh-huh.
never heard of. Say, you know, this is a band and would fit well. And we trust their judgment a lot. With Clutch fans at this point, they're very open-minded because we've toured with a lot of different kinds of bands, and it would be
Mhm.
boring if we just tried to find a different or some band that sounded like Clutch. I think people are
There's
much
no,
more
but there is no band that sounds like Clutch.
well, thank you.
You're completely unique.
The Clutch fans have a very sensitive bullshit meter. Like, if they think the band is just going through the motions or kind of doing what they think might garner applause, the Clutch fans want nothing to do with it. They'd rather see someone honestly perform a music they know nothing about, and they'll eat it up. Genre doesn't really matter, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You just can't pigeonhole your band. It's just like you say, you've played with so many bands, but because you just fit with everything.
Yeah, I suppose it's easy to get on kind of any festival bill, isn't it? Because there's no specific style, is there? I mean, you kind of move from it's a kind of a hardcore punk edge kind of from back in the day into this like blues rock kind of heavy metal blues rock type thing. I mean, some of the tracks now, like Barbarella and stuff, are just light years away from like Binge and Purge and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they're amazing tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we love the amazing
My
tracks.
son wanted me to tell you this. In Walks Barbarella is his favorite song ever.
Good.
He's
Good man.
11. He loves it. He loves it
Excellent.
so much.
Is he going to listen to this podcast back?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously not a conscious decision. That's just aging and evolving and playing so many shows and jamming so many times, isn't it? That it's become into this style from the style it was. But then obviously when you play live, you do still play some of the old tracks. So how did it become like that? Is it just evolution and aging and progressing in the industry?
I think it's all of those things to a degree. I think we were like anyone else. When you're very young, in your teens and early 20s, you are dead set on that the music that you like is kind of an extension of your personality. It's like part of your identity crafting when you're getting into adulthood. And for us, I was much more into punk and probably things that would be described as new wave at the time. JP and Tim were much more into metal. And at that age, you kind of live with blinders on to anything that falls outside of that, you want nothing to do with. And we were like that, like anyone else. And then later on, after maybe Transnational came out and we started thinking about more music, it was sort of like classic rock bands that we grew up listening to that maybe we had initially rejected in some ways, whether it be Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or ZZ Top, big radio bands of our childhood. Those influences were always in our heads. We just kind of shut it off at first, and I think we kind of turned on that spigot. That
Right,
you know,
yeah. Like we're too cool
pentatonic.
to listen to like them or listen to them, but then as you get older, you realize, oh God, they're fucking brilliant. Sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely.
I do that. I do that. I still getting into bands now from like the 80s and stuff. It's just amazing, isn't it?
I mean, it's like there would be like hardcore shows, like you wouldn't be cut. I mean, how stupid was it in the 80s when there was actually like some feud or myth myth about, well, don't go to this show with long hair or you're going to get your ass kicked, or don't go to the show with short hair, you're going to get. I mean, it seems so childish, and it is.
Yeah.
So like the idea of rolling up with, you know, at the hardcore show in like, I don't know, a Marillion t-shirt, you would have been like had a target on your back.
Yeah.
Now later on in life, you realize how silly that is. But I think all those things that you hear, it's important to not self-edit, not self-censor as a musician in any type of any capacity.
What about when things come together though? When you like Electric Worry and In Walks Barbarella, and you're adding all these, you're adding all these other elements to it, and it becomes just like a big epic track. There must be like a mega satisfaction with that, obviously, because you're growing and progressing, aren't you? So like just listening to them tracks and then just kind of sitting back and thinking, God, we've done this. We've produced tracks to this caliber. I mean, does everyone feel like that, or does it just like, okay, this is just where we are?
No, I think so. I mean, sometimes it's easy to, you know, not see the forest for the trees. Like when you're in something for so long and so immersed in it, you can take everything for granted and not be able to compare things. But you know, I listened to my voice at the beginning of my career, and I know I can sing circles around that guy.
Mhm.
I think it's always important. So it's sort of like let me back up. The idea of making it as an idea is something that people have talked about, and I think there's no making it. There's no arrival at a point where you say, okay, I'm done. Well, it's either retirement or death, I
Mhm.
guess, is the only making it. For people who have the creative impulse, you're always wanting to see what's around the next corner. You're always wanting to create, and scratch that itch. Some songs, you know, I find the ones that get written very quickly are usually the best.
Mhm.
Oh,
And you
right.
don't
Okay.
even,
So it's the quick
you know, you don't,
writings.
and sometimes you don't even know who wrote what. It's just like everybody's just kind of like bang, 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 and then done.
Mhm.
The songs that are like lingering around for months are usually the ones that need to be taken out behind the barn and put out of their misery.
The old
Um,
sheepdog.
yeah, yeah. You know, the creative process is something I think about a lot, just like in terms of, is there an easier way? And I don't think there is.
No.
There's feast and famine. There's, you know, I'm I'm glad, you know, I think learning is also an important part, taking lessons. I didn't take my first vocal lessons until maybe about 6, 7 years ago.
Mhm.
I wish I had done that decades ago. Same
Right.
with guitar. You gotta, unless you have someone to challenge you, it's like a muscle. You gotta have the resistance to keep it up, I guess.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
vocal
Cool.
lessons and guitar lessons, or just practicing more.
Vocal lessons, quite a bit. And that wasn't so much like learning, like I want to learn a scale. It was more about being able to do a tour and not only not lose my voice, but also sing the last show as well as I sang the first show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I was largely self-taught up until then and had a lot of bad habits. Um, just things that I never it had occurred to me until somebody who knew what they were talking about sat me down.
Uh-huh.
And same with guitar. I mean, I haven't taken an actual face-to-face guitar lesson in years, but YouTube, man. I mean, I'm just as guilty as anyone else.
You can learn anything on YouTube, can't you? It's amazing. Such a great tool.
It is. I mean, I know we all like to bitch about the internet, but if you use it as, I think the way we kind of thought of the way it would be in the early 90s, it's like, wow, now you can like learn anything. And like you said, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
It's good for DIY, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's good for the what?
DIY, you know,
You got a
like
problem with
home
your
yes.
improvements. Home improvements.
Oh, this
Oh,
light's
yeah.
flashing on my washing machine. I don't know what to do.
No.
It'll tell you how to fix it straight
For
away.
sure.
So, I mean, you've never really had much of an online presence, right? Is that just you've just never really been interested in it?
Me personally,
Yeah.
yes and no. I had a Twitter account.
Hmm.
I just even hate saying that word. Uh, and it was the thing was just like I realized there's a lot of people I like in real life who their online version I couldn't stand.
No.
And then I realized maybe I'm that person too. Like every time I try to say something that maybe at the moment I thought was, appropriate or funny would often garner a negative response. And I know sometimes that's what people's knee-jerk reaction is anytime they look at those kind of things. And it just became a toxic thing.
No.
It just in a time suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got rid of it, and I like I have like what they call, I guess, what do they call it? A sock account on Instagram because I like looking at artwork.
No.
And have reached out to artists at times to maybe make a show poster or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I think a lot of artists got sold a false bill of goods about content. An artist's job to create content is either music or on a canvas or a dance or what have you. Content talking about your musings on current affairs, I don't know. I don't care. And you shouldn't care about mine, really. It's life's too short about these kind of unsolicited missives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, everything does just tend to turn into an argument, doesn't it? I mean,
Always.
I can't even look at that Twitter thing anymore.
Well, you
Oh,
can't
yeah,
say
and that
anything
was
about
even before it became like its little
X.
neo-fascist zine.
It's just the horrible shit it puts in your face every time you turn it on. It's like horrible. Someone's doing something horrible. Someone's doing something horrible. Someone's doing something horrible.
Yeah.
You can't even get to where it's people you might know have written something because it's just someone's doing something horrible. So I don't want to see it. Just delete
Yeah,
it.
it's
Delete
like
it.
the dopamine response of like, oh, that's horrible. It's like a little bit of it's like a hit off a cigarette. And like, it wants to be, okay, well, we want to hear something even more horrible. Okay, well, I got it. Because you need that, need the fix.
Yeah, did you see this horror show? Look at this horrible thing that happened to someone.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
There's more.
Sign up here. But Neil, let's go back to Clutch a little bit. I want to know what your favorite 3 Clutch albums are.
This is random.
Can you even answer that?
This has come from nowhere.
I know, it just popped into my head because I'm interested.
Go.
I said I've got on order the vinyl of the Clutch album, and it's got reimagined artwork, right?
Yeah.
Who did that one?
Tim was the kind of quarterback for that.
Right.
The imagery is all from a photographer named Dan Winters, who did the original imagery. Mm-hmm. We met Dan. He did the transnational package. We went to a label, and they gave us all these portfolios of photographers, and it was all this. I know I hate this. Then we stumbled on his, and since become like really, really good friends 30 years later. And he's gone on to be one of the world's most sought after photographers. I mean, he's taken photos of. He's got a photo of Barack Obama in the Smithsonian National Portrait Gallery. He magazines of the highest caliber. But he's still, just one of us, and he's just a dude who loves his art. So yeah, all that that's his work. To answer your question, about the albums. It's sort of like picking your favorite child.
Mm,
Like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings,
mm.
but
Don't upset them mad clutch fans out there.
Yeah.
yeah,
The clutch army.
I will say the self-titled record, since you mentioned it, that's the one that kind of set us off into the direction that I think we're still on to some degree today.
Uh-huh.
Transnational was a starting point, but I think that was, for me, I didn't know I wasn't ready for prime time at that point. I didn't know what a recording studio was. I wrote a lot of those lyrics the night before I tracked them.
Really?
Yeah, and there's so many things I would change about that record, but that's only with the luxury of hindsight.
Uh-huh.
So there's that one. I kind of feel the same way. Through the 90s, we road dogged it. We did Elephant Riders twice because the first version the label rejected. It was too weird. If that,
But there's a weird version of Elephant Riders.
there's a
out there.
weirder version of Elephant Riders.
Right.
And
Think it over.
yeah, I haven't heard it in God forever, but by the end of the 90s, I was so burned out, just living in a van, or an RV. So Blast Tyrant was sort of like a second wind,
Mhm.
I think. To me, that's when it's probably my number two.
That's my number
And
one.
and I kind of feel the same way about Earth Rocker.
Mhm.
I just feel that it's just a solid record, and it for whatever reason, maybe my son had just been born prior. That was the first album that he was around, so it's kind of stamped into my memory.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Nice.
it's kind of the attitude is like, if I'm going to go leave this family, my wife and kid behind to do a show or tour, I got to make it count.
Uh-huh.
And
So
yeah,
kind
sure, I
of
wanna be-
reborn as your child was arriving and into the world, you got reborn for the
Yeah, in a
passion,
way, yeah.
making it worth it kind of passion.
Exactly. It's like if you're going to be away, then make it worth everybody's while. And that's another thing that kind of blew me away about becoming a parent. Is I had it screwed in my head that once a kid shows up, you don't have time for anything. And there's an element of truth to that, but
Mm.
The exercise of having to explain the world to a child was the best creative exercise I've ever done, to even to this day. Like, why this, Dad? Why that? How come this? Tell me a story. Or all these things that I never had to do before, and it was incredible, and it still is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's such a great thing. I sat down with my son yesterday and I said to him, I said, Josh, this is the most important thing I'm ever going to teach you as a dad. And I taught him how to take the lid off a bottle with a house key.
There you go. He won't forget. I bet he would. How old's your kid?
11.
Yeah.
We used to do it with a lighter, didn't we?
Yeah.
Put your Zippo under it, not your Zippo. Yeah. What's it called? The bloody
Whether
I
it's
mean, we would do the same thing in backstage sometimes with drumsticks, and invariably people would lose their minds. Like this was like kind of some secret rock knowledge that no one ever thought you could do the same thing with a drumstick. It just happened to be we always have them around. But
yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
a good
Can you
party
do it
trick.
with this?
Can you do it with a cowbell?
Given enough desperation and motivation, yes.
I
love
just did
the
Lowrider, by the way.
So, Neil, I'm gonna ask another very strange question there, just because, well, why not? Why not? Say tomorrow you have to you get told you got to change your band name because Clutch cannot be used for legal reasons. What would you call your band?
Without having to like do it some kind of cheeky like respelling.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
Um,
Yeah, no respelling, just a totally different name, please. Or we're going to come down on you.
It's tricky. Like one of my mates always wanted to have a band called Crap Jacket, which I thought was quite cool. He's never.
They should play with Piss Jeans.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, he's a big fan of theirs as well. So yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh, good Lord. I mean,
Proper put you on the spot.
I'm just trying to think of album titles, like what would Slaughter Beach is good. I mean, it's very metal sounding.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think people would be interested to see that band actually.
Yeah.
Slaughter
Yeah.
Beach.
I was gonna say Pure Rock Fury, but I believe that's actually a Clutch cover band.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
have
is
you ever-
incredibly flattering. I have not heard them.
Oh, okay. That was my next question. Have you ever seen a Clutch cover band?
No, but
bet
it would
there's
be my
quite a
hopes
few.
that they would do the thing like with professional cover bands where they dress period. But us as like you give maybe some like early 90s oversized cargo shorts.
So cool. So we've got another question. Oh, you asked this one. It's our usual one.
Oh,
We ask
yeah.
everybody
We
this
always
question.
ask everyone submits a song, one song to send into space for other life forms to hear.
I
It
guess.
can be any song from any genre, that one of your favorite songs of all time. It could be a Clutch song, or it can just be any kind of piece of music you want to send up there for them to hear. Doesn't, don't have to worry about whether they're going to be angry or sad. Just a song you want to put up there. If you could only have one song from Earth that's going to make it up into the universe on a little satellite or something.
What would you go with?
Oh, I'm trying to think of like sophisticated things, like some kind of, classical music, which I don't know enough about to give any suggestions. This is always my default answer, and I wish I could come up with something different, but I guess it's because it's the true answer that I always arrive at this. My favorite kind of rock song is Time by Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
It's when the
I'm starting
music
to
and
hear it now in my mind.
Yeah,
Now you've said it.
digging
clocks
away the
and then-
moments that make up a dull day. I mean, damn. The lyrics and the vibe of the music just sync with each other. It's got this awesome spaghetti western intro. It's a melancholy song. It's not a rocker, but I think it's very, it's philosophical. It's reflective. It's got a hell of a hook. I would like to think that maybe another species would like to know that we at least acknowledge our own mortality.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get
good.
that.
This is really good, and we haven't had anyone submit Pink Floyd yet.
No one said Pink
The last person, Chris Contos, he said Rolling Stones, didn't he?
He did say Rolling Stones. Yeah, we've
Said
had all
what?
sorts. Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones,
Oh.
but what track was it? I can't remember now.
No, I can't remember.
Something Sunshine or Summer. I can't remember what one it was.
We've had some great answers though over the
Yeah,
years.
I mean, I can think of others, but I'm just trying to think. I'm not trying to think about just myself here because I know, a lot of music I like is probably unlistenable.
Well, that's great. Pink Floyd's going up there.
Yeah, no, that is a good one. I
And
like
what
that.
about if you could only send something from Clutch, like a Clutch record, and for them to save us? Here's a Clutch record.
What one song? One.
Well, it could be one song or one album. Save us. This is our offering of music from Clutch. View it,
That's interesting.
listen to it, and decide whether we're worth saving.
Oh,
What album?
oh, what song?
So an album.
Let's go with album.
Okay. Boy, that's a tough one.
These are getting random, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Psychic Warfare. I mean, I think Son of Virginia ends on a optimistic note.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Oh, it's such a
I
good
mean,
album.
So they won't be too offended. They'll just be like, yes, these guys are talented.
proceed with caution, cautious optimism.
Yeah, we'll come down and have another look. See what's down there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're a big reader as well, obviously. What
Not as
book?
much as I should be, but yeah.
What book do you most wish you'd written?
Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy.
Cool, cool. I don't know that one.
It's another one for you to get on the
Yeah.
old.
It's a tough read. It's not easy,
Mhm.
but it's probably the most honest depiction of the violence of the American Southwest in the 1850s and 40s.
Right, right.
It's just, it is gnarly. It's if you like, if they ever made a movie out of this, and I don't think they should, it would look like a death metal like video.
Wow.
It really
Right.
would.
Wow. It's
So
quite
that's
graphic.
that's my Goodreads review.
You're gonna have to get that. Aren't you?
It sounds intriguing.
And what about if you could co-write a song with any historical figure? Sit down and thrash out a song with someone from the past. Who would it be?
Oh, God.
These are mind-bending questions. No, they're not. They're just something for you to think about, Neil.
I'm just getting silly now.
Well, I don't know. Do they have to be a musician?
No, they don't have to be.
Just a collaboration, Henry VIII.
I would. I'm gonna go with Da Vinci.
Oh, right. That would be
He
interesting.
seems like a Renaissance man.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's something to be said about like the dabbling in all the arts that would, be beneficial for a collaboration. I would definitely, lean on him.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I think that'd be good. I think that'd add a lot of class and depth to
Yeah.
that track.
Yeah.
If only it could come out. If only it could come out, eh?
AI could probably create it.
We could ask AI to create it, couldn't we?
Yeah.
No, don't.
We wouldn't do that. So, what have you got in line for the rest of your day, sir?
I'm actually gonna, as soon as we bail on this, I'm gonna continue working on some clutch demos
Cool,
because
cool.
I'm going out of town on Wednesday and I'm trying to track as many vocals across them while I'm away.
Mm-hmm.
Because after I get back, we only got about a week before we do this next tour. We'll do that. That'll end in mid-August. And then our next show is on a boat
Oh,
in
cool.
Halloween with Lamb of God.
Oh, nice, nice.
What
Are you
could
friends with
possibly
those
go
guys?
wrong?
Pretty good, isn't it?
Are you friends with those guys? You must
Oh,
have
yeah,
played with
yeah.
them
They're
many times,
great
I would
people,
imagine.
great dudes.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, Randy, doesn't he? Isn't he?
That'd be nice to
Yeah.
be on that boat, wouldn't it? Seeing those couple of bands.
Yeah.
I forget who else is playing. It's a good bill. And then after that, our next is Europe and the UK.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm very
Finish
much
up
looking forward to that.
at the
actually,
Roundhouse is the last show.
That boat one is is 18 Visions on that as well. I've got a feeling.
It
18
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I've
and
got a
I
feeling
don't-
they are.
I
Cool.
haven't looked. I do know I need to renew my passport
No.
ASAP.
Well, yeah, yeah. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck.
Can
Yeah.
I ask you one last thing before we let you go and let you get on with your day? Is Escape from the Prison Planet escaping from Earth? Or was it really a prison planet?
Where did that come from?
I just came. I wanted to ask it.
I guess Earth, but also, it's definitely tongue in cheek. It's not supposed to be, I always loved campy sci-fi, movie titles or, magazines, like If magazine and that kind of stuff. It would be Escape from the Prison Planet with like 5 exclamation points after it.
Right.
and,
Yeah.
Damsel in distress. So I guess the short answer is I kind of don't know. And I like that. And I think it's okay for me to say that. because these things are not like, it's not science, it's not maths where there's no arguing it. I think sometimes the listener,
Don't take everything literally.
yeah, the
In the
listener has
lyrics.
just as much input as the person who wrote it to a lot of degree.
Yeah.
Awesome answer, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I've got one more.
okay.
You guys have had the same lineup forever.
Yeah.
Who's got the most annoying habit?
I got to go on tour with these people.
He's not going to answer that.
It's probably me, because we never realize our own habits. So it's definitely got to be me.
Oh, that's a safe answer.
It is. It's the safe, but it's also the only answer if you want the band to continue.
Well, obviously we want the band to continue. Yeah, I mean,
The thing
I
is,
shouldn't have
at
asked.
this point, you do a tour with a band in a van for a couple years, and there's no secrets left. And if you can get through that, everything else is a cakewalk.
Of course. But you guys are brothers, right? And you always will be.
Yeah, I mean, just we can bicker, we can not get along, and then the next day you wake up and put on your game face. And
Yeah.
If you can solve Marilyn Manson for 4 months, you can do anything, man.
Yeah, the good times, far outnumber the bad. Thankfully, knock on wood. And it's fun. I think we understand that the sum is greater than the parts, and that includes our crew and our fans.
Yeah, amazing. No, that's such a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
Right, Neil,
Cool.
we're going to let you go. Thanks
All
for
right.
giving us all your time. It's been amazing.
Again, I apologize for the.
No, never apologize to us.
no,
We're just grateful you come on.
Yeah.
To Facing the Crowd.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Okay.
we've loved it. We've loved it.
And good luck with the tour and the shows in the UK and everything. And
I'll see you in December.
He'll be in the
Sounds
middle of
good.
the crowd. He'll be there.
You will be faces
Thanks
in
again.
the crowd.
Faces exactly that. Exactly.
Exactly that. That's what it's about. Might give you a little way.
Cheers, man.
All right, take care.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank
You
you so
too.
much.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.